thanks everyone for joining us. Super excited to have you back. We're at a very special section of today of the entire event. We have somebody very special with us. You know, he's come a long way from turning a $40 budget into FUBU, a $6 billion fashion game changer. You know, throughout his career, he's continued to be an entrepreneur in every sense of the word. He's not only a pioneer in the fashion industry, but a shark on the 4-time Emmy Award-winning Shark Tank, a New York Times best-selling author, branding guru, and highly sought-after motivational speaker. And that's why we have him here today. Super excited to be able to do a live Q&A with him. I have some of my own questions, but before this event, if you saw the emails, we actually got some questions for you. So we've got from you. And so we've got people from all over the world attending this event right now. We got questions from all over the world also. So I'm super excited to be able to ask some of your questions to the one and only Daymond John. So thank you very much for joining us, Daymond.
Thanks for having me. How you doing, man?
Good, how about you?
Good. I was watching your presentation. Powerful stuff.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So this is actually the second conversation Daymond and I have had. So I really enjoyed our first time and wanted to ask him some stuff that I don't really know the answer to yet. I would love to hear from you. So it'll be my first time hearing some of this as well. And I'm sure everyone's going to absolutely love it. So first thing I would like to know is, how did you end up on Shark Tank?
How did I end up on Shark Tank? Well, I'm going to try to make that one a fast one, in the sake of time. It was back when we actually had those answering machines at our office, and I would never check it, and every day I'd have 40 different messages, and most of them were how people could spend my money or make money for me, and where do I need some new real estate space, and my secretary at the time answered it, said, "Hey, a guy named Mark Burnett called, and he wants you on the Shark Tank." I looked who Mark Burnett was. I said, "Absolutely." I called them up, and I say, "All right, I'll do it." And they say, "I'm going to have to spend my own money." And I said, "These guys are pimps." And I just hung up the phone. Click. And, I realized that I didn't want to go on the show. I didn't want to spend my own money. And then I finally realized that, you know what? At that time, it was 06, 07. I was starting to feel the pinch of 08 coming around. People stopped buying clothes way before they stopped paying their mortgage. And I said, you know what? I want to go on there. I want to diversify my portfolio. I have 10 clothing brands. 8 of them are dead. I want to acquire other brands so I can go to the Macy's of the world or the retailers and say, hey, I don't only want real estate in this area. I want real estate in various other areas, lotions and plateware or electronics. Call back up, say, I'll do it. They say, you can't do any other show but ours. I said, I'm sorry. I'm advising 3 girls they have a store in LA called Dash. They're going to have a reality show, and they're going to open up a store in New York called Dash. I'm going to be on their show, a cable show. It's brand new. I'm going to be on there 3 times for 3 minutes apiece, 9 minutes total. Said, you can't do it. I said, I'm a man of my word. Unfortunately, I have to pass. An agent in LA found out that I'm giving up being on ABC with Mark Burnett for 3 girls that nobody ever hear of. That's what he said, called the Kardashians. And I was co-managing the Kardashians at some level of managing their product placement on the show. The Kardashians found out I was going to turn down Shark Tank because I represented them, and they fired me because they said they never want to get in my way.
Oh my God.
Hence, Shark Tank was born.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you originally wanted to go on there to kind of build up your business portfolio. You weren't necessarily going on there to be famous, and you're maybe not expecting to blow up like it has been, but your goal was to grow your businesses.
Yeah, I never thought that the show would take off, and I never thought that even if it did take off, the show would be anybody who would want to see what you and I and many of these people who are witnessing us do every single day in our normal course of transacting business. But the show became a hit, and we're about to start filming our 13th year.
Yeah, so why do you think it worked out so well? Why do you think it's been such a big success?
I think that when did you ever see what millionaires and billionaires are going to ask of the everyday person? When did you ever see people that were sleeping on their couch or in a car a year ago become millionaires and be able to bring that value to the sharks when you may have been taught or raised that it takes money to make money, and oh my God, all these people are so lucky, So I think it shows the true entrepreneurial spirit that anybody around the world can do right now, and you have no excuse anymore. And I think that it has made a lot of millionaires have come out of Shark Tank, and people see these people as local business owners or huge brands like Bombas Socks or Scrub Daddy or Ring Doorbell and go, I first saw them on Shark Tank and they didn't have anything when they were on Shark Tank. Look at them now. Why can't it be me?
Yeah, I actually didn't know Ring came from Shark Tank. I mean, they blew up and got bought by Amazon for a ton of money.
Yeah, $1.2 billion they
Oh,
got
wow.
purchased by Amazon. Now they came on a Shark Tank, and Jamie, the owner, had said that he asked for too much. He said if he was on the panel, he would have never invested in it as well. None of us did,
Yep.
but we truly believe that because we softened and tenderized him so well that when he went out to the market, he reduced his ask, and he owes us 5%, I believe, just for making him a little more attractive
Yeah.
with love.
And what's been so far, after doing this for so long, like what's been your favorite part about being on the show?
I want to listen. There's so many different favorite parts about being on this show, but I always want to bring it back to the audience that we're speaking to.
Yeah.
I think the favorite part about being on the show is that if I was not on the show, I would be doing business the traditional way that most of my colleagues are doing it, and they're sucking wind. I would have been making a T-shirt or a line and hoping that a retailer purchases it and hoping the kid takes it out of the back, storage room and puts it on a rack, hoping a person buys it, hoping a person doesn't return it, instead of understanding how to talk directly to my consumer or utilize other people's inventories. Everybody likes to talk about using OPM, other people's money. But if you're smart enough, and that's why most of the people here are smart enough, why do you need to use other people's money? You could use other people's manufacturing, mind power, manpower, marketing, use other people's mentors, and also make money off of other people's mistakes, like how you were discussing how other people are giving people a great affiliate marketing, but you're going to double, triple, or quadruple that. That means somebody else is making a mistake because they don't understand the value and what they could be passing on to somebody else. And that's how your Google rankings get up so high.
Yeah. And so how do you decide on Shark Tank today, or maybe it's changed over time? Like how do you decide what companies to invest in?
Well, today we decide on who has a direct contact to the consumer. Again, like I had broken down how I made a shirt, and by the final time that I got in a sale, that was about 7 or 8 steps away from the money. I want to deal with companies that are 1 and 2 steps away from the money. They put something up, or they tap into somebody else's inventory, or tap into somebody else's marketing, and then they sell directly to the customer. And then they have a way to go back and deal with the customer again. There's only 3 ways to ever deal with a customer. It is acquire a new one, upsell a current one, or make one buy more frequently. And if you have a direct, attachment to the customer, then you can do the last 2 very easily, upsell them or make them buy more frequently. And I love the fact of knowing how to, supersize my customers' fries.
Yeah. And so so in the past it used to be, if you can get your product into retail, you're set. But then nowadays you think that not as important if you know how to talk directly to the customer.
That's not important at all. Retail is a lost leader. Retail is a great place to be where they visit you, but then when they go home, they purchase you. Retail needs to show you an experience. But by the time, my mother, who may not be that tech savvy, by the time that she gets in her car and goes over to wherever she wants to purchase, I got that stuff already purchase and on the way to me, and I'm doing things that are more productive with my time.
Yeah.
So, whether it's a kid or whether it's a mature person, unless you're retailing, you're giving them a unique experience they can't have everywhere else, then I don't believe that there's a need for retail.
So with that in mind, what do you think has been your favorite investment so far?
My favorite investment has been, of course, because it's the #1 investment in Shark Tank, and it allows me bragging rights over Mr. Big Bucks billionaire Mark Cuban or Mr. O'Leary, is Bombas socks. The guys are going to, I don't know, they're going to eclipse $300 million, but
wow.
it's not the reason of just the bragging rights. It's because even as somebody who sold apparel, and I told you I went on there to diversify my portfolio, and the last thing I wanted was another apparel company, but they sell direct to consumers, and every time they sell a pair of socks, they give a pair away to the homeless. And what that taught me is today's consumer will buy 2 times or 3 times over anybody else if they find that you have a social cause they can relate to. And if they believe in that social cause, well, you can't pay for that amount of advertising when they're on Zoom or around the dinner table saying how they gave to a certain community or a certain challenged market every time they purchase. So they love to wear socks that give to the homeless, or buy a bracelet that helps clean up the ocean, or invest in this place that helps to try to reduce human trafficking. And that is your best form of advertising and marketing, and true ambassadors that believe in you.
Yeah. So do you think, what do you think is the main reason for their success? Because they figured out that kind of tie-in, or do you think it's the founders or the product or something else, or a combination?
It's all of it. It's the founders. It's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
It's coming from a place of they wanted and they still want to create true change, and they want other people and other companies to be corporate citizens and create true change. And they figured it out, right? And then it comes from the consumer. Once you know that you purchase something and you are part of an ecosystem that gives and creates change, why are you going to purchase something else? You would feel like you abandon your true, your true desire to create change.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I'd love to keep asking you questions all day long, but want to get some questions from our attendees.